Good morning. Welcome to Speed Stories, the road to Knoxville. It's day, what? 4?
Day 4.
Oh. Hello, it's Groundhog Day. We're on the road again. We are the Willie Nelsons of sprint cars.
Yep.
Dad's winding down the windows and it's chaos in here. We just went through Roswell. Well, I went round the outside of Roswell.
Yeah.
And the only alien that Michael could find was in a Toyota dealership.
Yeah.
So you're probably looking at that right now as we speak. We had a fantastic day yesterday driving to New Mexico after we went to the Boneyard Museum in Tucson. So our special guest today is a royal superstar. What a guy, Royal Jones. We're going to talk about him in a minute. But first up, we had an amazing visit to the Pima Air and Space Museum yesterday in Tucson. Then we went over to Davis Monthan Air Force Base and went to the Boneyard, which everybody needs to do. Just incredible. Let's check out some highlights from the museum and a little bit of the Boneyard. When we come back, we're going to talk about Royal Jones and then what we're up to today.
No more maybes. No more putting it off. This is the year. Be there. Sprintcar's greatest week. The 59th annual NOS Energy Drink Knoxville Nationals, August 7th through 10th. Buy your tickets now at KnoxvilleRaceway.com and check it off your bucket list.
So I'll tell you a little bit of Brad Dodie trivia. When I first came to America to hang out with Brad, who I call the bloke with spokes, he took me to his favorite restaurant in America, Sonic.
Alright, we are on.
So whether you're a race fan, an aeronautical fan, or
like airplanes,
even if you like airplanes, if you're into aviation as well, like the hat, like my hat. You got to get to that Pima Air and Space Museum. And how cool when we walked outside and like there's all the Tomcats are there and the Phantoms and the whole bit. I'm like, oh wow, look at that Phantom. And the old guy sitting right there goes, I used to fly them.
Yeah.
Like the people that work there are the veterans. And then we had an incredible guy called Kevin, who was our tour guide for the Boneyard, and man, he knew his stuff. He'd been to Australia a couple of times. He was an aircraft mechanic. We drove then, how many hours was it to Las Cruces? 4 and a half.
4.5, I think it was.
It's a reasonable distance. And then we caught up with Royal at one of the most amazing speedways I've seen lately, Mark.
Oh yeah, it was good. Merv took us to the wrong one first.
Yeah. Well, you were driving at the time. You were driving at the time.
Well, that's true.
So Bardo Speedway Park, you need to look it up on their Facebook page and also I think it's VardoSpeedwayPark.com or VardoSpeedway.com. Incredible facility. So we dragged the drone out, flew around, spoke to Royal about his passion for Speedway, his love of Jason Johnson and Bobby Johnson and Little Jacks. And you'll see that when we talk about Bobby, he gets quite emotional. It's still very real for him, that whole situation. He's a man that puts so much into the sport of dirt track racing as a promoter, as a race car driver. You didn't know he raced as well?
No, I didn't know he raced.
He's also a second generation Royal. His son is also a Royal Junior. So we spoke to him about lots of cool things, overlooking the track. He's an amazing guy. Let's catch up with Royal Jones, the main man of MVT. What an incredible transportation company that is. This is without a doubt one of the best planned, laid out and presented dirt tracks I've been to anywhere in the world. Royal, you have done a right royal job of your speedway.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You must be very proud.
I am. It's very exciting. This was kind of a dream of ours. I had when I totally lost my mind and actually took over a racetrack in '93 in Las Cruces. I never dreamed it was going to lead to this, and then after a few years of that, I had El Paso. I had some partners, and we had El Paso and Las Cruces. And then my track manager and I decided that, wow, cool would it be if we had a track in between the two cities. Mm-hmm. And this freeway here is a connection between I-10, I-25, and Highway 70, where they all come together, headed to El Paso. So you got 3 lanes of traffic going to and from El Paso. We're right up against the freeway. Location. Ask any real estate person.
Well, I mean, and the best part is because of that location, it's so visual that fans driving right past will go, hey, is that a racetrack there?
Fans, truck drivers, the El Paso people are at worst from the east side of El Paso. It's 40 minutes to here. People on the west side of El Paso, it's about the same distance as coming from Las Cruces. For people in Las Cruces, it's the same distance. Now you come towards El Paso instead of going towards Deming. And this is right up where you can see it. The other tracks were just old. I mean, they were nice, but they were built in the 70s. And,
yeah.
You know, like most
tracks, if not the 50s and 60s.
One thing I'll promise you, there's no tracks with ADA rules and drainage rules. There's more rules building a new track than you can shake a stick at. I don't even know how many handicapped bathrooms. But you know what? We're finding a lot of handicapped people come. So yay to the rules makers for accommodating those people, because they're starting to come out here. We get a lot of people in wheelchairs, and our old place, a woman couldn't even go there. I mean, it was a rough ass parking lot and just hard to. So this is catering to kids and women. Men will go to any place to go.
That's right.
I have this place really nice where you can come out and have a party, play some cornhole, have some beers, have some good food, and maybe see a race. I don't know. You may not want to. You might just have a good time out there.
Come to a nice night out and a race breaks out.
Yeah.
Without sounding sketchy, you took me into the bathroom. I got to say, it's like something you expect at an NBA basketball game or a Major League Baseball game.
I would venture to say I've never been to some of these real nice tracks like Lucas Oil, but I'm pretty sure they don't have bathrooms like that. Refrigerated air bathrooms at that, with mirrors and nice, beautiful floors, and it's a beautiful bathroom.
Well, I get the feeling this is a way of life for you, though. The way you've done this is the way you probably operate your business, just at a guess. This is not like, oh, I'll just do something completely out of my zone.
We try.
Where did you learn that ethos? Did you get it from your father, or is it something that you just picked up yourself with how you do things?
I worked all my life. My dad always worked hard, and you learn most of your ethics from your parents. But my dad wasn't neat and clean. He was more of the messy guy, so I'm the neat and clean guy. Or I try to be. But
you must have frustrated him, and he must have frustrated you.
But he did put a lot of work ethic. He and my mom, and that's what I do. I mean, I work. I love to work. I work day and night, and even though this is supposed to be my fun, and I still race. I have to keep racing, but being at the racetrack can be work. We have to keep it all in mind and not let everything get to us, and not. You know, as nice as people are about this track, they still have to come complain because their old Mijo got spun out and we didn't call it right, or they scored me in 6th, and they scored me in
13th,
and he really was 13th.
Yeah.
But him and his mom think he was in first.
But the good part is, because you are a racer, you bring both pairs of eyes to this. You bring in an administrator, a business owner, a family man, a spectator, and a racer. You've got all of the vantage points covered. So surely if you learn from every bit of that, you get what you need.
Sometimes these people are right. We do make some mistakes, and what's happened, our girl who does the scoring, our lady, even though, get used to the transponders, and now the transponders run that scoreboard. We've never had that before. So it's easy for her to be on automatic. And so recently we had to re-implement the plan where after the white flag comes out, no matter how great the transponder systems are, get out your old napkin and piece of paper, 1, 131, 12, 11, 10, 9, write them down, and just in case, because that thing, if your transponder is not hitting, we're going to tend to go off what the computer says, and the computer might not be right. So
you mentioned the flag stand, Royal. I got to tell you, that might be one of the tallest flag stands I've ever seen. Did you plan it that way?
Well, I don't remember why they went so high. I know we had an insurance guy out here, and when we were going to make it down a little bit lower and have, but I forget, he talked to Rue, the track manager, and they decided instead of cutting up that beautiful fence we just built to just go above it. So hopefully no flagman will ever get hit by anything. I don't think any of us can see him.
Now, how often do you race here?
But we can see the lights.
That's important. How often do you race here with your car?
Every Saturday night, and lately it's every Friday and Saturday. So like last weekend we ran sprint cars Friday and Saturday. This coming weekend we run modifieds on Friday and Saturday. And the following weekend, I'm not only going to miss the Knoxville Nationals, I'm going to miss this race, and I'm going to be at the Rolling Stones concert in Denver, Colorado. I actually had tickets. We had tickets for the Rolling Stones in May before all this started, and they got sick, and so they rescheduled on a race night.
Royal, how are you going to get no satisfaction if you're not at the Knoxville Nationals, mate?
I'm going to get it the way I've been getting it since 1965 with Mick Jagger.
So you're a way back Stones fan?
Since I was a little kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Favourite song?
I don't really have a favorite.
I mean, there's billions, isn't there?
I like all.
They're timeless.
And all their stuff is good.
So you play Start Me Up here for your opening track and stuff like that, a bit of Brown Sugar and Painted Black. Can you do me a Mick Jagger and just sort of strut around there? Incidentally, your commentary booth is basically soundproofed. You've got carpet on the walls. That's something else that nobody really thinks about. You've thought about a lot of little things that are not visible to the eye, and you go, wow, that makes sense. This room doesn't echo.
Yeah, we even in this track, it's quite an odd angle. At one point I was going to face the east. The predominant wind here is from the southwest, so the wind blows across here. So the wind, 95% of the time, if we do make dust, and if it's a slight breeze, it should blow it towards the freeway, not towards the people. Last Saturday night it was raining to the north of us. The rain came down over there and pushed, and we got dirt in the people's faces, which I hate that. I hate to get dirt in the people's faces, but it happens. We also turned it, I was going to face it north, but then I got to realizing that if I faced it north, the afternoon sun would be right in your eyes. So we turned it 25 degrees this way, so the sun sets to your left and not in your eyes when you're sitting here in the afternoon before the sun goes down. Now the sun's coming down a little earlier each night.
So I noticed that then turn 3 and 4 would hold the moisture a lot longer into the night, purely because of the shade that would be cast.
Yes.
That's one of those things. I see you've got a nice big NOS energy drink sign on the corner there. We love that. The NOS energy drink Knoxville Nationals, presented by Casey's General Stores, is where we are headed. So your son races as well, and he's Royal as well. You're a 3rd generation Royal. He's a 4th generation Royal.
I'm actually 2nd, and he's 3rd.
Right, but there'll be a 4th, I'm sure.
Everybody calls him Bumper. So most people don't know his name is really Royal the 3rd, because everybody knows him as Bumper. He's quite the modified driver. He won the championship the last 2 years in Las Cruces.
Yep.
In the modifieds, and I won the modified championship the year we took over that track in '93, and I won the sprint car championship last year. Is
that right?
In the final, so I got the first and last.
That's cool. That is very cool. It's a fantastic facility, mate. You have done a wonderful job. As you said, perfectly located. The stands are great. You can lean on the walls back there and look over the top of the fans. Your flag stand's fantastic. Pit area is great. Literally, you don't have to put a foot on dirt as a spectator here at all when you walk in here. Even from the car, you don't have to.
Right. If a couple from El Paso had come to Cruces to eat for dinner, or vice versa, a lot of people in Cruces go to El Paso and El Paso. If they happen to see this place and maybe the woman's wearing heels and a nice outfit, come on in. You fit right in. You're never out of place here. You're never going to twist your ankle on a rough parking lot like we used to have out there at the fairgrounds.
So we're talking here with Royal, who is the owner of one of the most amazing speedway facilities I've seen anywhere in the world. The Perth Motorplex in Western Australia reminds me a lot of this. It's a state-of-the-art facility. Royal, when I was a kid, we played a punch buggy, where if you see a Volkswagen Beetle, you usually punched your friend in the arm.
We called it slug bug.
There you go. If I had played that in the last hour with my father driving every time we saw an MVT truck, neither one of us would be able to lift our arms. You have an amazing fleet of trucks. How many do you have in your fleet?
About 1475, I think is what it was this morning.
That's remarkable. I know that's your life and that's what you do every day, but that is a remarkable fleet of trucks.
Thank you. Just so you'll know too, look, there goes one pulling one that wasn't so fortunate. Our record pulling one of the operator trucks.
How's your timing on that? Well played, Royal.
You can sit here and see an MVT truck go by like every 5 or 10 minutes. And just as you mentioned that, there was one going the other way. But you know, we're the most fuel efficient company in America.
Really?
And we use a lot of our country engineering, which is usually race engineering.
Yep.
So our trucks have less parasitic drag, they're more aerodynamic, they have easier rolling tires, we do different things to the suspension, we use right oils and this and that, so, and we do that for fuel mileage, so we can run down the road with less need for horsepower. However, if you wanted a race truck, like from North Carolina to LA and back, if you open mine up, we'd spank their ass. We basically lap the field, like Steve Kinzer in the 70s, or
right up to the 90s.
I would say Donnie Schatz right up to Mr. Sweet.
He's having a great year.
He's having a good year, as is David Growl. There's quite a few guys have, but man, those top 3 guys are really something. How did they found something?
Oh yeah. How did Jason Johnson come into your life, Royal?
Oh wow, we were having an ASCS national show. And I hadn't seen Emmett Hahn in a long time, and he conned me into having a national show on the way to Yuma. So we went to El Paso Friday and Cruces Saturday. I think that first year we did both nights in Cruces. And I'd never even heard of Jason Johnson, and he came to my office with a brochure that he'd printed up and all the reasons why Jason Johnson could help us acquire drivers around the country and all the things that he could do for MVT.
Yes.
MVT was just on his car. And I kind of thought he was about half full of baloney, but his presentation was so good, and he was so forthwith, he was so wanting to do this, and he was just so sure of himself. And I called him later and I said, yeah, I'll help you out next year, we'll do something. And then he started telling me, and of course then he went on and won the ASCS National Championship, and he told me how his dream was to be a World of Outlaw, and how in 98 through 2000 or somewhere in there he had gone to work for Steve Kinzer to totally learn the business and all the things that Steve had taught him. And of course I was on Steve's car back then too, and me and Steve were pretty good buddies. And he really you could tell he was totally dedicated, and a lot of times he wouldn't ask me so much for money as much as information. He had a fuel card, he had this and that, but he would send me, he worked on becoming an outlaw for at least 2 years before he finally did it. He actually lost one sponsor from Australia, which I totally understand. The guy's a zillion miles away, and he wanted to be an outlaw, but Jason didn't feel like he was ready to be an outlaw. And so that guy pulled out, and he found other people. And then of course when he brought me these P&Ls and performance on what he was planning to do, and he had it. He had leaned everything in the bad way, like more cost for tires, more cost for motors, not winning too much, and what it would take for him to get by. And his presentation was like, man, I wish I had a sales guy that could do a presentation like this. But it was really something, and I helped him a little more, and a lot of other people kicked in. And he becomes a World of Outlaw, and first year he breaks his back, as you remember. And anyway, he recovered from that as he would. And so we're on quite a few sprint cars. We're on some ASCS sprint cars. A couple of World of Outlaw cars.
Craig Kinzer is a great friend of yours.
And we were on Steve and Craig. ASCS, we're on a handful, a lot of local people. Some people I might give them an old wing. Some people I give them $200. There's people who get money like. Maybe I would say Kinzer and Jason Johnson, who I've probably sponsored the most. But we don't do anything super big, but it's real good, and we help a lot of different people just because we love racing. Of course, I love seeing MVT out there, but it's not like it actually gets me. I was
going to say that.
Get ready, Murray Bridge. The brand new season of Speedway is not far away. Saturday night, September 28th, Speedway blasts back into life. and it's the first New Bullet Demolition Derby of the season. It's been a long, cold winter, but now it's time to get back racing. Kids 12 and under get in free, so lock in the grand opening night at Murray Machining and Shed Speedway, Murray Bridge. Check out murraybridgespeedway.com for more.
Yes, the greatest show in town!
You know, we're also, besides in trucking, we're also in the tire business. So we have 10 tire locations, starting in Laredo, El Paso, Las Cruces, Tucson, Phoenix, and 5 locations from Bakersfield down to San Diego, and a recapping plant. So Craig's car, for the Western Swing, when they first went out there, you know, after Florida, then Florida, Texas, then New Vegas, and they're out there in California for about a month. So Craig ran Border Tire, because
It's a relevant market. Yeah.
And we're Michelin. We have anywhere from ag tires, car tires, but mainly truck and loader, and and ag. So we're actually been working real hard on one of Craig's other sponsors, Southern Pacific Farms.
Great family.
Very, very
great family.
And I bet you a lot of those people will buy tires from us if the price is right, just because we also support racing. You know how racing people do. Racing people support racing people.
It's the way it's supposed to be.
It's the way it should be. But anyway, racing's a sickness, and we've all got it
thank God.
in some way or another.
Thank God you've got it.
Yeah.
Can I ask you about Bobby? You must have phenomenal respect, like we all do, for that incredible woman. Yeah. The courage and the drive and the passion, even though when she was at her most lost point, she still knew deep down in her heart that racing was her life, and that Jason...
Yeah, I don't know anybody that tough, and I don't know man or woman. And most people have never lost anyone. They may have never lost anyone in racing, but to lose 2 and to still be in it, that's...
Yep.
She has courage and strength from above. I'm sure she still gets strength from Jason and strength from Kevin Kilbrath, and it's just, I don't know how she does it, but she does. And
there's a little guy that's knee-high to a grasshopper. Yeah. I reckon he plays an enormous part in her will to keep on pushing.
Yeah, and that's just tough. I mean, it's tough on the little boy, it's tough on the family. I don't know if you know, his parents lost a daughter.
Kayla, Yep. Jason was racing in Australia the night that she was in the car accident, and he got the news that the next day it wasn't going to be, that she wouldn't be around. He couldn't get home. He had to wait for a flight the next night, and he went out on the track and won that night. And the place, honestly, I still get goosebumps. The place erupted. So it doesn't surprise me that Bobby has that same fierce desire to stand up and beat her chest and say, no, you will not get me down. There's been days when she's had to be on the floor, but she's remarkable.
Right after that happened, I would talk to her. I used to talk to Jason almost every Sunday anyway, and then I would call her and we'd talk, and I'd put her on speaker, and my wife usually couldn't stay in the room because she would just get too choked up listening to her. But man, she just had the strength. But you talk about feelings and things, how he won. I don't think I'd won a main event. I used to win all the time, but I'm getting a little older. But then the competition's all getting better. But I still race good and hard, and I still have a lot of drive. So Philip came out last year after Jason had died, and he helped me with my car. So that night that he was there, he and Brooke came out, and we actually put. My car is one of Jason's cars, but we actually put the sideboards with a 41 and left the 131 on the tail tank. And I don't know what Philip did to my car, and I think I'd helped, but we waxed their ass. Did you? Oh man, we kicked the crap out of him. And it was I think it was his birthday. It was not too many weeks after he had died, and at that point we all realized that the Forever 41 that we had on the front of our wings also meant he will forever be 41, and more than one time. He was 41.
Wow.
He was 41 twice. I mean, he was 41 as his number, and will forever be 41. So that's...
Why do you do this? Why do you do this sport? Clearly you could be laying on a beach somewhere if you wanted to be answering your phone occasionally and running a trucking business in Florida. Why do you do this? Why do you build a stadium like this and pour millions of dollars into our sport?
I think an old engine builder might just say, we're all here because we're not all there. But anyway, Dick Sweat used to say that. But, I just love the sport, and I love helping in ways that I can. I mean, people helped me when I was younger, and, the fact that I'm able to, I like helping people. I mean, I don't want people to just come pounding on the door. And sometimes I help people, and I just don't tell anybody. one of your good friends. I've done it two or three times, and it's just because I don't need to be. I'm not trying to pound.
Yeah.
That stuff. It's just I just love racing, and I love a lot of the people in racing. It's quite the family. You know what I mean? It's a total. People can be. I don't care if you're dead broke or a billionaire. There's people and they all just come together. Look at some of the people out in California. Look at some of the people in the East that support and take care of these racers and. Some of Jason's, one of Jason's sponsors out of Pennsylvania, you wouldn't know that guy had 2 nickels to rub together. And he's probably worth more than anybody I know, but you would never know that. I mean, it's good stuff and good people.
You don't need me to tell you this, Royal, but I want to say thank you for what you do for, you've known Jason a long time. I've been very fortunate to be friends with Jason and Bobby since the early 2000s when they came down to Australia and raced World Series sprint cars. But you do a lot, like you just said, for the sport and for people, and you continue to raise the bar. And I wanted to meet you firstly to come here today, but I wanted to put you on the road to Knoxville when I heard that you were driving right through your backyard. Thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, and just talking to you on the phone, you guys all sound the same.
Yeah, I know.
So until I saw your face, and I remembered I met you last year.
Yeah, with Paul Sides.
Bar and Grill.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure they were throwing you out. Maybe they were throwing you out. I don't know.
Or dragging you in. I'm not either way.
Well, thank you for what you do. It always helps. And I'm telling you what, when I saw you and I said, hey, didn't you do that video?
Yeah.
Jason, that was pretty touching. So thank you for that.
It's really good to meet you, Roy.
Thank you.
Have a great time at the Stones.
All right.
Make sure you watch Dirt Vision while you're there, okay?
Yeah, there you go. I got the phone.
And get out to this incredible raceway. Where do they find you on social media at this track? What's the best way?
VadoSpeedwayPark.com or Facebook and Instagram.
VADO.
VADO, Vado. You all probably say Vado. We say Vado.
You say tomato, we say tomato. Summer in Sydney, Australia will be sweet this Christmas. Get out of the cold, America, and come down under to the 2020 Ultimate Sydney Speed Week and Ultimate Speedway Nationals at Valvoline Raceway, Parramatta. Watch the Big Cat Brad Sweet and Texan Aaron Reitzel, plus several other USA stars take on the Aussies. From December 26 until January 18, we've got more sprint cars, midgets, and late models than you can shake a shrimp at. Can't get there? Get online and watch it live or on demand on clayperview.com.
It's the greatest show in
When we left Royal, I just felt this profound feeling of that we'd just met someone extremely special.
Yeah, for sure.
Just an intelligent, forward-thinking, global-thinking planner who has just so much pride in his facility, and as well he should. Now, he had 1,475 trucks as of yesterday morning's count.
Yep.
There's a family in South Australia, in a little tiny town called Bordertown in South Australia, the Jenkin family. They have a thriving trucks, parts and service business, and they have a magnificent Kenworth truck that was actually used as their bridal car in Dillon and his wife Michelle's wedding.
Car or bridal truck?
We're going to go with bridal vehicle.
Bridal vehicle, yeah.
Either way, it looks amazing. Let's check out a little bit of Australian trucking history right now. I'm here with my buddy Dillon Jenkin, who raced sprint cars for some time back in the day, in the early 2000s, and ran with us out on the road with World Series sprint cars. Were trucks always your thing? I mean, that always the family business, but as a kid, did you love trucks?
Yeah, mate. Always loved trucks. There's only one truck that you should like, though, especially if you're an Australian. It's a Kenworth truck, which is right behind us here. So yeah, obviously being able to drive around Australia in a big red Kenworth was always a privilege. It's probably more fun than driving a sprint car, isn't it, mate?
So this was actually your transporter as well, which is super cool as well. You must have some great memories of being out on the road with this magnificent girl.
Yeah, I remember the first trip to Brisbane, had to take my mum, and then we had to bring Michelle home, my wife home with it, and then obviously 22 hours or 24-hour drive, whatever it is, it was good to spend a few days in there, and we've done a lot of work to it to get it to where it is. It was a wreck when we bought it, and then it was a good engine, and painted it, and put a bumper on it for my wedding.
Yeah, so this was a bridal car.
This was the bridal car my wife came to our wedding in. Dad drove her in, so we never had a test run of helping out of it, so she had a creative one first.
Oh wow, that could have ended in tragedy.
Would have ended poorly.
So tell me about the truck.
It's a 1995 T900.
Yep.
Australian-built Kenworth.
Okay.
It's got a 50-inch non-integrated bunk. N14 Cummins engine at 500 horsepower. Meritor disc, road ranger gearbox.
You know this thing pretty well, mate.
Done 2.5 million k's.
2.5 million.
It used to run express. At one point, we had a bull bar on it with big lines down it where the previous driver got a bit impatient with the truck in front of him.
Oh,
the hay plane to
really?
speed up a bit. So
wow.
It used to run express. It's been to Perth and used to do Perth runs and Sydney runs. And there's probably people out there that would know more about this truck than probably I would that have driven it and been around it. But that's in a nutshell of what it is.
And she's your daily driver these days? She's a work dog?
Yeah, she's a work truck still. We've got a tilt tray on the back that tips up to drag trucks on, and so we can bring them into work on them rather than do it on the side of the road.
Wow.
So yeah, load them up in 10 minutes. We'll drop in the pockets and we just bring them in.
So sprint cars and Kenworth have been your life, Dylan?
Yeah, Speedway, go-kart, Speedway and trucks. It's been my life. I don't really know what I'll be doing otherwise. Quite often have a bad day and you go home and you think, fuck, what am I going to do? What else do I do? And then the next day you have a really good day. But the transport industry in Australia is full of great people.
Yep.
It's a bit like Sprintcar racing. The people is what keep you coming back. It's not the trucks and the cars, but it's the people you're associated with. Keep coming back. We go to the Kenworth factory once a year for a sit down with the engineers and the CEOs and tell them where they're going right and where they're going wrong, and we go back next year and we point out the same things because they haven't changed them, but we try our hardest to make the product as good as we can, and we're very privileged for a small business to be able to go and sit down with head engineers at Kenworth Australia and go through the finer details of their changes and what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. Our opinions on what we think they need to change. So.
Now Knoxville Raceway, Dylan, curveball at you. You been to Knoxville?
I've been there twice. 2005 when I got Australian Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Went over there and got that award, and in 2007 I went back with Luke Dillon and his family.
Yep.
So I've been there twice. I'd love to be able to take Dad there soon and show him what it's all about.
It's an incredible place, isn't it?
Incredible. It is ridiculous. It's something that you don't expect from a small town, really.
Yeah.
It's not very big.
No.
So that many people go and visit it. Yeah, it's great. We definitely tune in still and watch it every year. So. We'll get there one year again, but we should get this place a bit more under control so that we can give time off and go and do it.
Might be able to race there one year, mate.
Well, you never say never, can you, Wade?
I like the sound of that. Here we are at the end of another massive day. Sun's almost setting here over Amarillo. Everything is bigger in Texas, by the way.
Yes, it is. Everything is bigger in Texas. Yes. Just went and got myself a small Pepsi, a small soda.
So we just went to Route 66 Speedway, which when we first walked over the edge was like, that's a banked little joint.
Yeah, it is. That's
got some serious bank in it. Through the last 24 to 36 hours, big thanks to Shane Redline who put us through to a young guy called Jeremy Gossett, whose brother Zach races race over 305 sprints at Route 66 Motor Speedway. We ended up getting a sprint car for the video we wanted to shoot with Jason Patton, and what a great bunch of young guys. Young Brian, who's on the crew, who wants to come to Canberra for the Summer Nats.
Oh, does it? Yeah.
That's all he wants to do is go to Summer Nats.
Yeah, right.
He loves it.
Yeah, okay.
But they put the GoPros on for us and did tons of laps. And I think they really blew Jason Patton's mind a bit too, with just how quick they got around there.
Yep.
So we had a blast, and I think a really great way to wrap up our show today. And if we mean what we say about grassroots speedway and us wanting to meet the heartland of sprint car racing in America, those are the guys we mean, right?
Yeah, they were. They were open trailer guys. And,
yep.
Just how they're giving it a go, really.
And young Zach's a good little wheeler, and they're just a good bunch of guys. All they wanted to do was help in any way that they possibly could. So I thought we'd round things out by having a chat with them, getting on board to help their sponsors out a little bit and say, thanks boys, really appreciate it, and a bit of Texas hospitality. So here is Jeremy, Brian and Zach from the 10 car. Really appreciate it, Gossett boys. Thanks very much for the laps, boys. Going to help us make that clip look pretty cool. Nice looking entry, the Rockin' It drive for the brand, number 10 entry, the Gossett Racing team. This would be Jeremy. This would be Brian, the poor guy that works for nothing but pizza and occasionally a beer. And this is Hollywood Gossett over here, aka the Z-Man. How are you, boys?
Very good.
So we're here at Route 66 Speedway in Amarillo, Texas. I got to say, this is a nice little joint.
Absolutely, very, very nice place. Yes, sir.
I like the banking. How banked is it?
That's a good question.
It's banked.
It's very banked.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact number, but it is.
Is it a quarter mile? Like it's
3/8.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
It's a nice little place.
Thank you very much.
So just randomly, you're like minding your own business 36 hours ago,
Basically.
and you get a three-way phone conversation from some guy from the South.
Exactly. Yes, sir. The extreme stuff.
It's the real South, mate.
Yes, exactly.
Saying, hey, can you get your race car here? Can we do something? And I really appreciate you doing that. And I guess you probably didn't really understand what we were doing, but do you have a better idea now?
Now I do. Yes, sir. I had no idea when you first called, which, like I said, Shane Redline, he called me, and I get excited whenever his name comes up because I have absolutely no idea, and this time didn't disappoint either.
Could this be one of his better ones, perhaps,
This
right?
is pretty good. This one didn't cost me as much. I was kind of excited about that.
How does this team work? Tell me how this works for you guys. We're talking the Race Saver. What class are you running?
It's an IMCA 305 Race Saver sprint car.
Yep. Okay.
Pretty much the motors are all the same in all the classes.
Yep.
Spec right rear, any left rear. Very, very competitive class. So.
I'm not sure that I like the way that you label him with his shirt. I mean, what are you saying about this guy?
No, it's one of my best friend's clothing companies.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Check them out and
There we go. Get online.
Always Simple Clothing Company.
There we
Amarillo,
go.
Texas.
So you guys ran modifieds, you were saying before this, yeah?
Yes, sir. My dad, he's raced his entire life. This is actually his 42nd year to race.
Nice.
So me and my brother obviously grew up in it, around it, wanted to drive. Both started whenever we were 14. Stock cars, sport mods, modifieds, and 3 years ago we made the jump sprint cars. So just loving it.
Do you know many Texan rock stars, fellas?
I honestly don't know that I know a lot of them.
Well, I guess you do now, right?
Yeah,
'Cause,
but he was rocking out. Yeah.
I think he was pretty surprised at just how quick sprint cars are.
Definitely. Well, especially when he was flying by and when he had his back to it. I think that kind of made him.
I think we got his attention.
I think so too.
So how often do you guys run around Texas and whereabouts?
We start in April, run every weekend through end of August, September.
Yep.
We go down to Lubbock, Texas at West Texas Raceway, race there every Friday.
Yep.
Occasionally to tracks in Dallas, Ardmore, Oklahoma. Just
Yep.
kind of stay local. We both have jobs, so it's kind of tough to travel too far, but definitely race all we can.
Can I tell you who I think is one of the greatest Texan sprint car drivers that I ever saw?
Gary Wright.
From
Yeah.
From Hooks, Texas.
I agree.
Gary Wright.
He's a man.
He is. He's a hell of a motocross racer too back in the day.
Really?
He promotes a big dirt bike race, and he came down and raced in Western Australia with us. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, we did an ad with him. We made him say, "Oh, you drivers are like a box of chocolates. They're all soft on the inside." He's a hell of a racer. Very quiet, very quiet. Hey, I really appreciate you guys turning up here today. You got a very nice looking hot rod and rocking it, drive for the brand. You got extreme exhaust and radiators on board as well. And we made a bit of dust. We got some folks' attention in Amarillo today, which is always a good thing.
Yes, sir.
And looking forward to seeing part of the video clip.
Definitely.
And in a
Super
minute,
excited.
I'm going to play you guys the song, and nobody else has heard that yet. So
Heck yeah.
we're going to have to shine that Men in Black light in your eyes when it finishes, so you can't remember it. Okay.
All right.
Thanks a lot, boys. Really appreciate it. The Gossett Racing team. No relation to Lou Gossett Jr. though, right?
Unfortunately, no.
He wouldn't mind his money to run the sprint car deal. Thanks, boys.
Thank you, sir.
We're rocking it, driving it for the brand. That's all we have time for on today's program, but don't forget to check in with us tomorrow on the road to Knoxville on Speed Stories on Facebook. Plus, we're going to show you what sidecar racing is all about with a brother and sister combination from Australia. There's all that and plenty more on the road to Knoxville, episode 5 tomorrow.